Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Talk Show. I have my co-host, Coach Janine. Welcome.
Thank
And I
you.
have my special guest, Jadonis Mathis. Is that how you say your name?
Yes,
Yeah.
Jadana Mathis.
Okay. Yes, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being on with you ladies.
Yes, y'all so welcome. Can you give us a little snippet about you?
Well, I'm author Jadana Mathis. I'm also a podcaster. I go by the name Lola from Lola's Chronicles. I write urban fiction novels, children's books, erotica, short stories. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and this would be going on my second year as a self-published author.
All
Ooh,
right. Congratulations.
awesome.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
So, what are the different types you said that you write about?
I write urban fiction novels, erotica, short stories, and I also have a children book with my daughter.
Okay. What initially inspired you to start writing?
When I was young, the honest truth, it was like a method from anger management, and I used to get in trouble a lot at school. So my auntie brought me a notebook to start expressing my emotions in it. That's how I initiated it. I was
Okay.
about maybe 10 or 11.
Okay. That's cool. Uh, you just told us what genres you write about. You said one of them that started with an A. What was that?
I said erotica.
Yeah, what is that?
It's like, rated R.
Rated R.
Adult
Okay.
stories. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Uh, how do you come up with your ideas for stories? Just from what books? From the what you have written down, or do you just some thought come in your head, or how do you come up with your ideas for your book?
Sometimes, honestly, I surprise myself because it just comes out, it just be up there. Like I'm always thinking. Sometimes I use scenarios around me and things I've been through and experienced, but 9 times out of 10 is just something that comes off the top of my head.
Okay. Uh, let's see what else. Can you describe a memorable moment when you overcame writer's block?
Who? It was, I want to say, after finishing my second book. I was writing 2 books. I wrote my first 2 books when I was 17,
Mm.
and I couldn't, it was like for a whole year, I couldn't think of nothing. I was like, maybe this just was it. Maybe I was just supposed to write these 2 stories and be done.
Mm.
But um, how I ended up overcoming it is because I started listening to music
Mm.
when I started writing. So when I listened to music, I don't know what it was that day. I was walking, listening to my headphones coming from school, and it just like it clicked. It just, I don't know what it was, like something that I saw. I can't necessarily remember exactly what it was, but it was more so the music and the scenery. And I went home and it was just like I was working on the next book.
Okay. So I know your podcast called Lola's Chronicles. What gave you the idea for that name? Is that part of your name, or is that a middle name, or what?
Well, Lola is a name that my cousin and her husband gave to me, and like more so like a nickname, because he
Mm.
always talking about, I remind him of Lola Fadana, and he was like, you need to find out who that is and find out me. Are you gonna, you don't like it? So they've been calling me Lola for years now, and it's just a nickname that stuck with me. And I was like, what could I come up with my podcast to be? Because I use my real name as my pen name, so I'm trying to figure it out. And I was like, you know what? Lola's Chronicles is going to be the name of the podcast,
Uh-huh.
which I created my short story series. My first short story series is called Lola's Chronicles. So I'm just like, I'm going to rock with that.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Coach Janine, you have any questions?
Yeah, so definitely, I'm very excited for you for your journey, to the authorship. To me, can you kind of give us some example about some time where I know you just shared about being inspired, but those moments where you went through something and then those moments really inspire you to keep pushing?
Um, When I first started writing, what inspired me to actually publish is because my fiance at the time had went to prison, and I was, a new mom and everything, and I was like, okay, the lifestyle I was living was not the best one, and I had to figure out something that would be beneficial for my daughter in the long run because I had to take on the role of being mom and dad. And I was like, okay, I need to do something different. And I had some people in my ear telling me, like, look, it's them books. It's them books. And I'm like, nah, that ain't where it's at. So then that became my biggest inspiration, my daughter, to get it going.
Absolutely. Now, what would you say to another, another entrepreneur who just started their journey to be able to start writing? What would you tell them? Things to consider.
Research, research, and double research because you want to know as much information as you can, coming in. Like I tell people all the time, I don't know everything. I'm still learning, especially with doing it on my own. When it get hard, don't give up. Don't stop. I be so hard on myself sometimes. I be ready to just throw my hands up and be done with it. But I tell people all the time that's the worst thing to do. Also, just write. Don't worry about the formatting and the editing or none of that right away. Just write your story. Whether it's that you write the end before you do the beginning or the beginning before the end. Right. And then once you get done writing, you can put it all together and go from there. But make sure you research how you want to do it.
Oh, that's awesome. So on your journey, you already published 2 books and you have a podcast. So what next for you? What next?
I want to publish more books. I also want to do more children's book. I want to explore a different genre. I want to eventually turn some of my short stories and books into movies, and get some clips and scripts out there. So that's another thing. I got my Where My Pen Leaks Fire LLC. So I want to take next year to get more familiar with how to run a publishing company. So I can get mines up and running. So pretty much just joining more book expos, getting more exposure and getting myself out there for people to know who I am and keep that pen moving. That's the main thing.
Keep that pen moving. That's for sure. My last question for you is that what would you want our viewer to have, as a takeaway message from you?
No matter what you go through or the situations that you encounter, somebody is always out there doing worse than you, as they tell us. But even in the midst of your situation, may be the worst on hand that you think of. Just pray, have faith, and keep going. Don't let nothing stop you.
Keep going and let nothing stop you. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying it. Thank you so much. Coach Tina, back to you.
Yeah, so like the publishing company. So do you have an idea? You want a big company? You want to start small? Do you have do you want to hire employees? What is your goal for your publishing company?
One day I want it to be one of the biggest publishing companies it could possibly be. One day. That's the goal, the ultimate goal. I would love to have people working for me and be able to publish other people, but I'm not rushing. I'm 34 years old, so that's something that I want to have established in my 40s. Basically, I want to start small and I want to learn from different other entrepreneurs and publishers, but I want to do something different with my publishing company. I want to be more hands-on with my writers, and I also want to produce some movies and things like that. I don't want it to just be based on writing. I want it to be publishing, music, movies, all that I can do. So more likely turn it into a big production company.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So your story is kind of like mine. I started my business with and my child in mind. So my son was in mind. So it's kind of like the same kind of that was our motivation, our kid.
Yes, yes, them kids they'll push you in ways you never could imagine.
Yeah, and so you have a book with your daughter. What made you decide to do a book with your daughter?
Yep, I got Dream Big.
Okay.
And Dream Big, we just wrote a book based off, I was noticing how a lot of children don't use their imagination anymore. And it kind of bothered me a little bit. So I wrote a book based on kids being able to explore their imagination and to think the impossible, So I just wrote it because like I had one page in there saying that I dreamed that I can ride a dinosaur to school instead of a school bus. And that
Yeah.
inspired me so much because so many kids out here, we shut down their imagination so fast and
Hmm.
they have to grow up so fast. And then we wonder where, kids got a real big imagination. When you listen to a child tell you a story, you be
Yeah.
lost in the story. So I just wanted to share with them that even adults have wild imaginations as well. And it's okay to think the impossible.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, because my son show had a wild imagination. It still do.
Yeah. So, it's just, I like to encourage them to think. You never know. A kid
And
might one day design a school bus that looks like a dinosaur. You
yeah.
never know. I want to inspire and let them know that it doesn't matter what you dream of, you can make
Mm.
it possible.
So, how did your daughter help you? Did she give you ideas, or what? How did you include her in writing the book?
I let her include in the book with the story design, like as far as the illustrations, telling me what the picture should be, because I had wrote the story. She was
Hmm.
about 3 years old when I wrote the story. And
Hmm.
I was like, okay, once she got older, when I got ready to publish it, I let her come up with the pictures. She told me, and we went from there. So I
Oh
let her
yeah.
come up with the designs of the pictures, and I put the story together, and we,
Yeah.
we did it
So,
like that.
do you do the designs, or do you hire somebody to do your designs?
No, I hire a graphic designer. I
You
suck
hire a
at
graphic.
drawing. I suck
Okay.
at drawing. That's not my.
Okay. Do you have a favorite character from your own work? If so, who it is and why?
uh, well, I'm in the process of republishing two of my books, so then I will have four novels out. But my latest two that I got Loyalty and Envy and Lola's Chronicles. Um, with Loyalty and Envy, I would say Envy would be my favorite character. They're
Hmm.
sisters, um, and their names are Loyalty and Envy. She's young. She's the wild card. She kind of remind me of how I was growing up. I acted first. I never did think about things. I was wild. I was, down for all the bad things. I was so ready. Um, but I still was level headed and I thought, but I knew the consequences. I took responsibility for my actions. I would say Lord Envy is my favorite character so far. I'm writing part two right now. So I'll see
Okay.
how it goes once I'm done with that one.
Okay. So it's kind of like remind you of yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some of
Yeah.
the things, like I say, I write these books, and when I turn around and read them, as if I'm not the writer, it's like,
Uh-huh.
ooh, like I can see it. I can see it.
I see me in that character, huh?
Yeah, I see that. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, I love it.
Okay. What's the most challenging aspect of writing process for you, and how did you tackle it?
I would say my biggest challenge would be sitting down and actually writing it. I'm dealing with a lot of procrastination. I've always been a big procrastinator. Like I got it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and then
Hmm.
I sit there and write and be in front of that computer till my eyes is burning.
Hmm.
But I'm learning more to like pace myself instead of trying to write so many projects at one time to stay focused on one. Because
Hmm.
then I think that's what gets me is because I overwhelm myself. I'm always trying to write one, two or more books at one time. So I overwhelm myself. So lately I've been trying to slow down and do one book at a time and just go from there.
Okay. So can you tell us when you said your next project is your two books? So if after the two books, are you gonna is there rewrite of the books, or you just adding on to them?
No, I'm changing some things because I had two traditional publishers before. And
Hmm.
now with me having my own LLC, I would like to have them published under my name. I'm no longer with any other company. So those are the my first two books. And I would love to have them, published under my LLC now. So I'm basically changing the covers, making some changes a little bit, and just republishing them under my name so I can
Okay.
have all my novels together.
Okay. Okay. So what, like a inspiring someone inspiring to be a writer? I know you already told us what that they should research. Do you have any tips of where to go to research, or what to start off when they're doing the research? How did you do your research?
I started mine. I just was asking questions. I
Mhm.
started with Google first. I would ask questions like, "What? How long does it take to write a book? What's your minimum word count?" Or look up different genres, and
Mhm.
figure out what you want to write about. I researched, about traditional publishing houses, what's best to self-publish, or, things like that. Just the questions you want to ask yourself. When it comes down to it. Then I joined some Facebook groups, mentor behind people. If you know people that's an author or that's writing, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's the only way you're gonna know. Um, Growing up, my grandmother always say, "Only a dummy don't ask questions." So you
Mhm.
ask questions to anybody. If you see you got, join writers groups. Watch YouTube videos, look up into your favorite author. If you have one, look up and check out some of their interviews and things that they said. So when I say research, like ask questions, and on top of that, just read what Google has to offer you. When you ask questions and different sites on there, just go like you taking notes in school and go back through your notes and read it like that.
Yeah, yeah. I always say Google is your best friend. I tell
Yes,
all my
indeed.
clients, Google is your best friend. It's like it
I
tell you.
ask all the time, "Hey Siri, what's this?" Or "Hey Siri, we got these technology," and Alexa, whoever you using on your devices. I mean, ask.
Yeah. So what
It's
about AI? How do you like AI that's just come out? How do you like that?
I haven't really been using it. My daughter
Uh,
been trying to get me. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it too much,
mm,
but she been trying to get me to work on it. I might have to check it out. So far, I'm like, look, I got enough. I got Alexa, I got Google, I got,
yeah.
so I got Siri, all this AI stuff. I just think it's just they be just too much in your business.
Yes, and then you're gonna have to, like I know, since you're gonna be a writer, you're gonna eventually people gonna have to start protecting their property, their intellectual property, that you write, because AI picks up on all that kind of stuff. So that's something to think about when you start your publishing company, that you're gonna have to probably protect your intellectual property.
Yeah, so I'm gonna research it and see, because
Yeah,
I'm
see,
like, it's a lot. It's they put adding it's something new every day, so
yeah, yeah,
got to keep
something.
up with it.
Yeah, so you have anything to tell the audience? I know you just talked about writing. Anything to tell it about your show, or about your book? Any final words that you like to say?
As far as the books, I got next year. I'm coming loaded. I got so much stuff that I'm working on. I got Loyalty and Envy Part 2 is definitely coming. I got Lola's Chronicles Part 2, the short story series. Those are part ones are both available on Amazon and Lulu, Walmart.com, BarnesandNobles.com. Check me out if you're looking for a new author. I definitely got some heat coming. Um, Trying to work with my daughter to get some children's books out. I don't force her to write. Like I told her, if that's not what you want to do, that's fine. And
Mhm.
you can always be my co-author. I'm gonna put some more children's books out. Um, with my podcast, Lola's Chronicles, is basically I would like to talk about things that we're facing in reality. I
Mhm.
do a lot of one-on-one interviews with people with whatever they got going on to help them get more exposure, and even if they just want to vent and talk about things that's relatable. I do a lot of group discussions. We do some no topic Sundays where we just come on there and vibe. So you should definitely check it out. I got Sunday. You guys should check it out at 6 o'clock. We're doing a show on autism awareness. We're going to be talking about autism and awareness for that. Like I say, you got a lot of podcasts out here talking to about celebrities and what they got going on. I'm more interested in what you have going on, what business that you want to put out there. So yeah, basically that's just about it. Check me out on all platforms. with Lola's Chronicles, and you can Google me, Jadonna Mathis, if you don't know where to find me. Facebook, Instagram. Check out some of my books. So you're gonna be addicted once you read one. So I'm telling you, don't miss out on this train. So just and keep me in your prayers on my journey. That's all.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you for coming on, Coach Janine. You have any final words?
No, I just said, please, it was really an honor for me. And I think we're going to be in touch with you and, just keep doing what you're doing. Definitely, we're
Yeah.
looking forward.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
thank you so much.
you have to have us on your show too.
Yes, we definitely got to set something up.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm all for it. I would love
yeah.
to have you on the show. I would love
Okay.
to.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So also we're gonna be doing a sponsorship. If you ever looking for sponsorship or
Mhm.
know anybody that's looking for sponsorship, we're gonna be doing a class October the 15th. So if like you need sponsorship for your podcast or for your books, it's a great class to attend because she'll be gonna teaching you everything you need to know about sponsorship.
That's
You'll know
right.
how to get sponsorship when you leave that class. So if you
Mm-hmm.
know
Oh,
anybody looking
that's
for
it.
sponsorship, you
Yes.
Me.
Very awesome.
You see, like,
Thank you again. Yeah.
hello.
Thank you
yeah.
again.
So
Yes.
yeah, so that's something we got coming up on October the 15th. So if you know anybody, just send them our way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I definitely
Okay.
will. I most
Yeah.
Yeah. So
definitely will.
yeah, so y'all check out the Donna Mathis, Lola Chronicles, I series. I can't wait to see what you come up and what you do. I can't wait to see the movies you produce. I will
Mm-hmm.
wish you nothing but blessings
Amen.
on blessings and
Yes.
continue the good work that you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really enjoyed you guys. I really loved it.
All right.
Absolutely. Keep going. You're doing